Hello and welcome to another episode of Around the House. I'm your host, Steve O'Brien, and we periodically get on the air and talk about home improvement, home repair. This is another new show we're producing today, and it's going to be a good one. Today we're going to talk about home staging, and home staging has been around for a while, not really a long time, but long enough, and it just seems to be coming out on the forefront more so in real estate. And with me tonight, or today, is Cindi Ford. She belongs to Boston Connect Real Estate, and if I could, I'd like to introduce her, and she can tell us more about what's going on with that home staging.
Thanks
Cindi,
so much for having me,
nice to
Steve.
meet you.
Nice
Thanks for
to meet
coming
you
in.
too. Thank you for having me. So I do work for Boston Connect Real Estate. I've been a real estate agent for 12 years. I'm an associate broker. Sharon has started her own business about 6 years ago in Pembroke, and then we opened an office this year in Bridgewater, and now we will be opening another office in Dorchester.
Wow.
And we both are accredited staging professionals.
Wow. Well, that's what we're here to talk about, is the staging
Yes.
aspect of real estate. And it seems to be, I'm hearing more and more about staging. And when I first heard about it, I'm in construction, so to me, staging is putting up some staging to paint a building or staging.
Right.
But again, it can mean many different things. So
Right.
I had to learn from somebody who actually did it, all about it. But there's so many little aspects involved with it. And one of the things we can start off with is curb appeal. Is that the same thing as staging? Staging is more inside, curb appeal would be outside.
Well, you know, more and more people, staging outside is equally as important as staging inside. And what that really means is, you know, cleaning up the front yard, putting the bikes away, maybe putting a nice patio set out in the backyard, but it's decluttering, even your outside. So this time of year, especially in the fall, with the leaves falling, you want to keep that front yard picked up and the branches that fall off the trees, the gutters cleaned out. Because if someone is driving up to your home to look at the inside, if they can't see themselves driving up to that home in that driveway, it doesn't matter what the inside of the house looks like. So you need to, you know, it's pride of ownership. You need to make sure that the outside looks equally as good as the inside.
So if they don't take care of the outside, chances are the inside's not going to be much better. So
Sometimes that's unfortunately the case. So, you know, it's just picking things up and the leaves. I know it's tough this time of year, you know, especially when the wind starts and the rain starts. But, you know, make sure that the grass is cut. Make sure that you take the summer flowers out and put some mums in, or, you know, a couple of planters in the front of the house. Take the outside furniture in if it happens to be, you know, fall or winter. And if it's spring, put that outside furniture outside and make sure it's clean and everything looks nice. And people they'll know that there's that pride of ownership there.
right. And now I think the best time to sell a house would probably be in the spring.
Well, you know, people will say that the spring and the fall markets are the best markets. Personally, I know for Sharon and myself, we're honestly always busy. So there isn't a bad time to put your property on the market. A lot of people do want to take their properties off after about Halloween because they don't want people maybe coming in and out during the holiday season with the trees up and house decorated. Also, you want less is more when you're talking about decorating, especially for the holidays. But fall is a very good time to put your house on the market. And then in January, you have the C executives that they might be transferring, relocating, coming to Boston because, you know, we have so much to offer here. So there isn't really a bad time. And when people take their property off the market, that makes your house more desirable. And people that are looking are always looking. They're looking. They're not going to stop looking because it's, you know, Thanksgiving or Christmas time.
Right.
You know, I've put several properties under agreement on Christmas Eve last year and
Really?
2 on New Year's Day.
Wow.
People are looking.
You see, my thought with that was, I'm thinking of my own property, and my backyard is kind of my crown jewel. Let's say I've got some nice retaining walls, stone retaining walls, in-ground pool, and when that pool is clean and the flowers are out in bloom, I mean, that would sell me on the house right there. And a lot of people aren't in the market for that type of thing, the pool and all that. But to me, when the pool's covered, again, if they're going to buy the house, they're going to buy the house. But I'm thinking as far as getting the price that you're asking. So would you be more able to hold your price if everything was, the pool was open, let's say? I know they tell me pools don't add to real estate.
Pools do not necessarily add value to real estate at all, and sometimes it can be a deterrent. So
Right.
you're right that when that pool is open and everything's in bloom, it looks fabulous. But you do have to close it at some point.
Yes.
So make sure that you take pictures when it's open and everything is in full bloom and the trees look beautiful and the plants look beautiful, because we can put those in the listing so that
Good
people can
point.
see just how beautiful it looks. Because honestly, nothing looks pretty in the winter. Other than when
No.
the snow just falls.
That's right.
It's tough.
It is tough. And
So
it's hard
if you
to
have
see.
those pictures, take them, and then we can use them.
That's a great idea. I didn't even think of that.
Well, that's why I'm here, Steve.
Well, that's your business. That's your expertise. That's why you are here. Cindy, what now? The first thing when you enter a home, what's the first thing that you want to stage? In other words, different houses, there's different entries. Some have a big foyer you come into. Some homes have a staircase right in front of you. In my case, I have it's a split ranch, an oversized split ranch. I have a loft above, but you still have the 5 steps up, 5 steps down. When you walk in that door, I mean, you have a little welcome mat, maybe. Get the kitty litter box down in the cellar or somewhere else. But there's certain things that it'd be obvious.
You want
right?
to declutter, so basically, if you went into a mudroom, you want to make sure that there aren't a lot of shoes and coats and things hanging. Less is more, because people's they're going to go to whatever that is. So let's talk the kitchen for a second. Don't put the bread and the cereal on top of the refrigerator. Take things off the countertops. Less is more, unless you absolutely need it. Make sure that closets are cleaned out, because people are going to look in your closets. If you have things on top of your refrigerator and all kinds of things on top of your countertops, that means you don't have enough storage. So if you don't have enough storage, I'm not going to have enough storage. So remove things and declutter. You want to
Very
take all the
interesting.
magnets off the refrigerator, the pictures, as much as we love them, you want to take those things off of the refrigerator.
Interesting, because I've gone into homes and it feels, I almost feel like something's going to fall on me. I mean, there's so much stuff on the walls, on the counters, on the refrigerator. It's everywhere. And I think people don't, over time, I'm seeing that happen now with my own house. As time goes on, you put the coffee maker on the counter, you put the Keurig thing with all the little Keurigs rather than in a drawer or
Right.
something. And sitting at the table, I look across and I say, wow, that's starting to get crowded. So
Right, and it's not that maybe the house has plenty of storage, but people maybe tend not to put things back, or they haven't cleaned out drawers and cabinets in a while. They may have expired items in there, and they just leave things out on the counter. So, 1 or 2 things, okay, make sure the table is cleaned off if there's a kitchen table. You want the closets, you want to be able for someone to open the closet and not have anything fall out on them, because people do open drawers and they do open closets. They want to see.
I have to put my foot against my closet door and to shut it.
That's not good, Steve.
And then when I open it, I have to stand to the side so something doesn't come out
Fall
and hit me.
and hit you in the head and knock you out, right?
I'm terrible. I do have to, I'm not moving anytime soon. Probably, well, I will eventually, but the only thing that intimidates me is the clutter. It's just years and years of coats and things in the closet, like you said. I don't even use it. I have the coats in there, and clothes and brooms, and I could spend. How long would it take you to? You actually, as part of the staging business, is that what your service does? You go in and you actually do the physical stuff, or you just give the advice on what to do?
It depends. But honestly, have had some of the best clients in the world where I go in as a buyer's agent instead of the listing agent. I go in as if I'm bringing a client to buy that house and what they're looking at. So that's what I tell them. And honestly, I try for people, regardless of the property, I try not to have them spend too much money. There are those occasions where maybe they have to paint a particular room, or they might have to do a little bit of something. I don't want people to have to replace carpets, because the person moving in may want hardwood floors, and you've just spent that money on new carpet.
Good
So
point.
I try and, lift up old carpets that are maybe area rugs. We try and remove those because we want the room, less is more, to appear more spacious. And you know, where this is a do-it-yourself show, it's honestly first start decluttering, which is not an easy task. But my clients, they just take the day. Sometimes they get a dumpster, and I say to them, if it takes more than 5 seconds to think about whether you want it or not, get rid of it.
More than 5 seconds?
More than 5 seconds. If you have to think about it for more than 5 seconds, you need to get rid of it.
Oh, boy.
I know.
Oh, wow.
I know. Well, I'm strict.
No, but that's good because I've watched that show, Hoarders.
Oh.
And I've seen what happens over time when people just can't give things up. And I don't know what causes people. I get like that myself. I save scraps of wood that when I do a project, I might have X amount of feet of mahogany, which is nice wood. And I save the scraps. They might be 2 feet long, they might be 3, maybe 4. Might be 4 or 5 pieces. Not enough to actually make something, but in my mind I said, well, this wood's expensive. I can use it someday.
Right.
And I've got wood in my shop that's stacked to the ceiling, big oak boards, and I've had them in my garage for probably 5, 6 years now, and I keep saying I'm gonna make coffee tables, mass-produced coffee tables, because they'd be beautiful, because they're thick oak. They're still in my garage. I can't bring myself to throw them out.
But you know, and I was the same way, honestly, because I think I know I grew up with, waste not, want not. You
Right.
don't waste anything. So at one time I had, I think probably from coffee makers that died, I think I had 15 of the glass pots.
Oh, no kidding.
Because, well, I
What
might
if one-
need one.
what if one broke?
breaks.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
the coffee maker broke before the coffee pot. But I went
Yeah.
up into the attic and I'm like, 15 of them for 24 years. Like, you just put things away and you think, I'll use them sometime.
Yes.
We all do that.
Yeah.
And that's why you need to kind of, at some point, but it's a big decision, I need to start. And once you start, you have to devote the day to it and just go.
But there's so many things. I mean, I've got stuff from when my kids were young. I've gotten rid of 90% of it. But like, we had like some 10-speed bikes. And one of them is in my furnace room. It's perfectly good, the tires are flat. But that's not something you just throw away. I
No,
mean,
have
I
your daughter
donate
put it on Craigslist.
Give it to somebody. I can't
Have
sell
a
things.
yard sale.
I can't be bothered doing that. I would give things away before, and that's just my nature. I can't be bothered selling stuff. We have in the town of Hanover, where I'm from, we have they call it a transfer station, and they have a little shed that you can donate stuff and just leave them at the shed. And that's what I did with all the kids' toys. We saved the toys in the attic, and they were like the little plastic car that they used to have when they were kids, and just little stuff. But it's amazing how many little toys you accumulate. And the mentality with my wife and I was that we'll have grandchildren someday,
Right.
but they're not going to want that.
No,
They'll have
because it'll be
electronic
completely
toys.
outdated.
Yeah, yes. So, and
Right.
would you believe they're still up in the attic?
I would.
And I just can't bring myself to throw them out. Or maybe even give them away. Maybe a daycare center could use stuff like that. But again,
There's always someone that can. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
there's always someone that can, someone that wants it, or someone that knows someone.
well, there's a great. If anybody's interested, I'll throw a plug out there because I got on it years ago. I don't get on it much anymore. But there's it's called Free Cycle. Have you heard of that?
No.
Yes, Rockland has one. They're all over, but you get on this. I don't know how I even got on it. It's called freecycle.com, and I think people give away stuff. People are looking for stuff, and you can put it out by your curb, and somebody who says they'll take it will come by and just take it.
Right, and people
So-
can post on Facebook in the different communities and say, I have this, if someone wants it for free, private message me,
Sure.
and I'll come over and get it. It is a big step, especially if someone's lived in a property a long time, but we want that house to, for someone else to feel like they could live there.
Right.
We want them to walk in and see their things there, not
Right.
all of your things. And even if it's a larger home or a smaller home, we want it to look like it has plenty of space and plenty of room for whomever wants to buy
Well,
it.
if it looked that good, I'd probably change my mind and not want to move.
We've had a few people do that. We did such a great job
that's
that they decided to stay.
that's what I'm afraid
And that's
of.
okay. And
That would be me. I'd paint the walls nice. I'd clean everything out like you said, and then I'd sit back and say, "Why am I moving? This place is
I
beautiful."
know.
So that's the part that scares me. Once I commit to that, but I should just clean out. Just not even to sell the house, just
because it's
30 years of clutter.
correct, and that
Yeah.
and it is. It's 30 years,
Yeah.
and a lot accumulates. A lot accumulates in 5 years. You don't realize.
Yeah.
Especially if you do have a larger home, you find a place for everything. There's plenty of space, and you fill it up faster than you probably thought you ever could.
I know.
But it's, someone else is walking in there. If they don't feel like they can walk around or there's not enough room, it is, it's challenging. The property doesn't look marketable. The other thing that you mentioned about cleaning, some people may want to do a really deep clean, have a cleaning person come in, maybe have the rug shampooed. Sometimes we have pet odor that we can't get rid of, and people don't realize it when they live in their own home. They don't smell it. They just don't.
You get used to it, yeah.
You get used to it,
Yeah.
and it's not a bad thing. It's just that someone else walking in that may not have pets, that's all they are smelling. So we try not to spend too much money. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you may have to do the hardwood floors over. Sometimes you may have to paint a few rooms, touch up paint, wash the walls, clean it up. Pride of ownership is huge, and that's what happens when a buyer, when I'm walking into a home, it may be outdated, and that's perfectly fine, as long as it had pride of ownership and the people that lived there took great pride in their home.
Right.
There's a big difference between, someone using a lot of masking tape to do fixes.
No, I agree. And I've always been a maintenance type person where I've always been focused on things in my own home, and I see that when I go into somebody else's home, and they might not see it. I do. I don't say anything, but I look at things and I say, I wonder why they didn't paint that, or why that's, this if simplest things, and it bothers me, and I got a few in my house, and I gotta get to it. I keep saying I'm gonna get to it, but when you go up the stairs, you get the white risers. They call them the risers.
Yep.
It's
And
beneath
they
the
have
tread. Scuff marks.
Scuff marks all over
Black
them.
scuff marks.
Just
and
take a
that
magic
Or on
eraser.
the bottom of the doors.
Magic eraser.
Yeah, exactly. It's a simple fix. You don't have to repaint the whole
Right,
thing.
and it's those simple things
Yeah,
that, make the difference when a buyer comes into the property.
right. Just like you say, a little shine the hardwood floor a little bit, and just clean it up.
Yeah, just clean out the linen closets, make sure the showers are clean. Sometimes maybe remove some of the silk arrangements if there's too many. Again, less is more when you're staging. Less is more.
Less is
and if
more.
we stage an empty property, which we do because we do new construction, we'll do, because people go into a bedroom and they don't realize how big that master bedroom is. They might look at it as if it's small, but it's much bigger once you put furniture in it. So you do the master bedroom, you do the dining room, you do something in the living room, because people can't visualize their things in it, or they'll
Yeah.
look at an empty room and, believe it or not, it could be huge and they think this isn't big enough. So when you put furniture in those rooms, then it actually looks bigger.
I would think it would be just the opposite.
Wouldn't you?
Yes.
I know.
I would think with the, you go into a big room and it's wide open, you can hear your echo when you talk. And then when you put furniture in there, it's like, wow, geez, it's smaller than it, now it feels cramped, but again,
No, it's just it's the placement of the furniture
okay.
and not putting too much.
Okay, again, clutter,
Right.
the necessities.
That's the biggest thing you can do is declutter. Take the pegs that hold the coats and all the rubber boots and things and put them away. Put them in a closet. I know that that's normal and that's what we do, but it makes that mudroom look smaller. Clean up the laundry room. Maybe put a little cabinet above the washer dryer or something so that they can put the detergent and things away.
Oh, that's a great idea. Any other good ideas you got for like certain areas of the home? I know the kitchen is the biggest area, right, that people focus on?
The kitchen is huge, and the countertops, sometimes it depends on how handy someone is, but maybe you can dress up an older kitchen sometimes, and if it's not worth it, it's not worth it, but sometimes putting the granite countertop in on an older kitchen and then just really using the Murphy's oil soap and cleaning the cabinets, the granite countertop could help. Maybe it's just new faucets in the sink. It's those types of things, like, take down the heavy draperies, put something a little bit lighter up, change the shades to blinds or something like that, wooden blinds. It's simple things in getting things off the countertops. Make sure the windows are clean. I know that probably doesn't seem like much, but clean the windows inside and out.
It's always been a little pet peeve of mine too, is and I'm not, you know, I'm not judging people either, because I might need to be cleaned anyways, and it's, you know, I don't have a cleaning service, so everything I try to do myself. But it's when I look at a light fixture and I see dust on it.
Everything.
On the shade, the lamp shades, you see a little dust floating on it. Just so many little tiny things that I pick up on, and I'm not being critical, because I'm the last guy in the world to be critical of anybody. But I'm critical of myself.
Right.
And I know these things bother me. Why don't I clean it? I'll get to it. I'll do it tomorrow. And I'm off doing something else and something else, and then I see it again. I say, I got to get that dust off, or I got to clean that little fixture. And I could devote like a month to just one room at a time, and just focus on one room.
And sometimes that's what you do, one room at a time. You know, clean the ceiling fans. They have great, you know, kind of dust mop things that you put right over it, and it cleans the ceiling fans. And, you know, clean out the bugs that are in the light over the sink, or, you know, make sure your outside lights are, and all your lights work, and the light bulbs are on. You know, sometimes you'll go into a bathroom and the vanity, you know, 3 of the lights are lit, the 4th one's not. Just change the light bulb. It's simple things like that that honestly make it look like you have pride in your home.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's, I mean, that's, again, that's the simplest little tricks.
Simple things like in the bathroom, remove those, the rugs around.
The
like
placemat around the toilet. And
remove them. And take that one off the seat of the toilet. Like, we don't need one there.
Someone told me, I felt kind of embarrassed, because I'm not one for style and what's. This was actually a realtor friend of mine. I wanted to get a rough idea of what I could get for my house. This is going back probably 2 or 3 years ago. And she came in, and she was being straightforward. She wasn't trying to be nice, but she was just telling me the truth. And we've got oak toilet seats. She says, get rid of those. Those are so out of style. I said, I didn't know a toilet seat was stylish. I mean, I didn't know.
It needs to be down when we're showing the property.
Back when I bought an oak toilet seat, that was like you had money in the bank if you had an oak toilet seat.
Right.
Now it's like, you know, now it's out of style. What's in style now? The ones that shut by themselves, right?
Pretty much.
You let go of it and it just doesn't slam.
It doesn't slam, yes.
Yeah.
I have those. It doesn't slam.
No,
Goes down slowly. Sometimes I want it to go faster, so you can put it down faster.
Well, I wish they had a foot pedal so you could step on it and make it go up like the lid of a trash can. That's another thing, trash cans. Is there any special place to put that? At least, I mean, normally it's out in the kitchen near the island, wherever it's convenient where you're working. But normally, would it go in the closet or someplace close by the kitchen?
If you do have one and it has to be out because you don't have the space, make sure the outside of it is clean.
And there's a cover on it.
And there's a cover on it. Yeah. Do you know? I mean, sometimes we spill. Sometimes things go over the top. But if you have a stainless steel one or a white one or a beige one, just make sure it's clean. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Like, not everyone can have the pull out from underneath, you know, the sink or something, and that's understandable. But just make sure it's clean, or pick up a new one. It's those little things. Yeah. It honestly is those little things, and you know, don't keep the Keurig cups out on the countertop, and then the big Keurig maker, and then the blender, and then all these things. Oh, yeah. It just makes it look like you have no storage. Right. No storage space.
Yeah, and it's not really that. It's just the convenience of using it and not having to take it out every time you go to use it. So
yeah, sometimes there is plenty of room. It's just that the way that, you know, they use it often. But for the showings, and you just want it, you don't want people's eye to go toward your things.
So you'd almost need to probably rent one of those little cubes or something to put your clothes from the closet in, and all the things that you're going to bring back into the house at some point. If they don't, you know, you don't know if you're going to. Well, then again, you might sell it in a short amount of time. I've heard so many stories about houses going to market, and 2 weeks later they're getting what they asked, and there's like a bidding war.
Absolutely. That's the type of market that we're in right now. Yes. And so, in a property that shows well and is, you know, staged properly and priced correctly, those do not last, because it's crazy out there, the market right now.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just. Depending on the location and all those factor into the market. In other words,
any town, it's really it's difficult right now to keep a property on the market. I was just in a bidding war And we overbid on a property in Weymouth last week, and we didn't get it. A cash buyer came in at $500,000.
Cash buyer. Mm-hmm. Isn't that amazing?
And
wow.
I couldn't believe that we didn't get it, but it was less. The offer was less than ours, but it was cash.
Now, what was the appeal of the home? It was just the location?
Well, you know, a lot of the areas like a Quincy, Braintree, Weymouth, those are extremely popular.
Close to Boston.
Because they're close to Boston. And even though we have the commuter rails down here, everything is sort of in walking distance in those towns.
Yeah.
So it was a very desirable area.
Oh, wow. Well, it's an up-and-coming area. I know a lot of people that I know of. It's affordable, too. To buy a starter home in Weymouth, you know, you can go from here in any town actually, but Weymouth seems to be the only thing about towns like that. It's actually a city now, Weymouth, right? Is the houses, they don't have septic, right? It's town storage.
They're all town, yeah.
So the houses are a little closer together than if you come out to Pembroke, Hanover, Situate. The houses you can get a bigger lot and not be so crowded.
You still do get a bit more for your money when you come further south, like down this way, but not everyone like some people will be okay with living in a 1,000-square-foot property for the same price that they could pay for 2,000 square feet further south, just for the convenience of being to Boston. They work in Boston, and no one wants to be in that traffic all day.
No, oh boy, I can understand it. Today was one of those days for me. I was ready to pack it up. Well, Cindy, we're kind of running low on time. Can you believe it?
I
Did
can't.
I tell you? I
know.
It goes by really quick, and we could talk for a much longer time. But we've only got a few minutes left, so I'm gonna let you talk a little bit about your company, and maybe you can tell the viewers a little bit about what you do. I know you have a radio show. You can fill the viewers in on where they can, when and where, what station you're on.
So Sharon McNamara is the broker, owner, founder of Boston Connect Real Estate, and she started it about 6 years ago this month. And we are located in Pembroke, Bridgewater, and soon to be Dorchester. Sharon has a radio show, Talk Real Estate with Sharon McNamara, every Saturday morning on WHCA 95.9, 10 to 11. And we talk real estate. We have guests on. I'm her sidekick, as she calls me.
I've heard you.
I am her sidekick.
Yeah.
We have a great time, and we absolutely love doing the radio, and really appreciate you having me on this show. This has been a pleasure. It really has. Maybe next time Sharon can be here, right?
Oh, both of you.
Both of us. Oh, that would be too much fun for you.
I enjoyed having you on. It was my pleasure to have you on. I can never talk too much about real estate. There's always something new and exciting, and in the market, like you said, it's kind of exploding right now. So.
It is, and unfortunately, Sharon and I say we could talk real estate 24/7. We just love it that much.
It's obvious you love what you do too.
I do.
I can see it.
I absolutely do.
I can see it in your eyes. Well, thanks again, and
thank you for having me.
I know the viewers are going to really enjoy this show because I know I did, and that brings us to a close of another show. And as always, thanks for watching. And you can visit my website if you'd like to see what I do, finisheddimensions.com, or you can email me at finisheddimensions@yahoo.com. And you can even view a few of the shows on YouTube now if you just type in Around the House with Steve O'Brien. So there you have it. That does it for another show. And thanks for watching, and hope to see you again on the next show. Thanks for watching.